Perhaps no other city in America holds as much history of the colonial and Revolutionary War era as Boston. It's not surprising then that its main sites have become a pilgrimage trail for Americans and for others who hope to get a sense of that history. But more than that, the Freedom Trail is a good introduction to today's city, passing close to some of its best-loved tourist attractions. Boston is easy to navigate on foot, as its major sites are relatively close, and America's first subway system, the T, connects its important neighborhoods. With all the music, theater, and entertainment options, plus its abundance of restaurants, you'll never be at a loss for things to do in Boston at night. Decide on the best time to visit Boston and then make the most of your trip with our handy list of tourist attractions and things to do in Boston. 1. Freedom Trail. 2.5 miles of Boston's most historically significant sites comprise the iconic Freedom Trail. From museums and churches to burying grounds and a ship, Freedom Trail gives visitors an experience that brings history to life. Official sites on the trail include the site of the Boston Massacre, the Benjamin Franklin statue and Boston Latin School, and the USS Constitution. Boston's rich history ensures there are many sites excluding the official 16, which include the Commonwealth Museum and the Minuteman National Historic Park. The costume tour guides, or Freedom Trail players, take guests on an adventure discovering the rich history of the American Revolution, creating memories the entire family will cherish. 2. Fenway Park. Take the family on a tour of Fenway Park, home to the famous Boston Red Sox. It will make attending future games even more fun. Fenway Park is the oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball history, and, though relatively small and only able to seat 40,000 spectators, has certainly seen plenty of exciting baseball, soccer, and hockey action, not to mention political and religious campaigns. Fenway has hosted the World Series 10 times, its inaugural season starting from the 1912 World Series. You will tour the stadium, visitors' clubhouse, press room, and the seats above the Green Monster, nicknamed for the 37-feet-high left field wall, popular because it is only 310 feet away from home plate. 3. Faneuil Hall. 4 buildings in Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market, North Market, and South Market constitute Faneuil Hall Marketplace, with the oldest being Faneuil Hall. Built in 1742 and now located on the Freedom Trail, Faneuil Hall has had a long and important history in Massachusetts politics. Samuel Adams once stood here to push for resistance against the British, and abolitionists and suffragists have stood on their soapboxes here. In fact, this is where Jonathan Mayhew famously challenged the Sugar Act of 1764 by proclaiming, "No taxation without representation." Since Mayhew's declaration, the marketplace has expanded to include more than 100 shops and restaurants. Some former visitors caution that the items sold at Faneuil Hall Marketplace are a bit overpriced. However, if you're looking to kill some time or snap some great photos, consider strolling through the market's halls. You'll also find various cuisines served in Quincy Market if you're in need of a quick bite. Keep in mind that this market gets crowded quickly, especially on weekends and in the summer, so it's best to visit during a weekday if you don't want to encounter hordes of people. 4. Boston Common and Public Garden. In the heart of the city is Boston Common, America's oldest park and the start of the Freedom Trail. In this large green space, which is much used by locals year-round, are various monuments and the central burying ground of 1756. You can rent skates to use on the Frog Pond from November through mid-March, enjoy the spring blossoms and fall foliage colors reflecting in its surface, and in summer, watch youngsters splash about in the wading pool. Adjoining it on the west side of Charles Street is the 24-acre Public Garden, America's oldest botanical garden, as well as Victorian-style monuments and statues, including an equestrian statue of George Washington. One of Boston's most iconic experiences for all ages is riding around the lake in the garden center on the famous swan boats, first launched in the 1870s. 5. USS Constitution. It is one of the oldest commissioned ships in the United States Navy. The Navy operates this ship as the historic site in cooperation with the National Park Service. Before independence, there were about 13 American colonies that enjoyed protection from both the pirates and foreign navies. The Constitution was built at the Hart Shipyard in the year 1794. However, the construction of the ship took a long time, and it was finally launched in the year 1797. The greatest glory of this ship was felt during the War of 1812. This ship earned the nickname of Old Ironsides because the cannon fire that was made from the enemy's ships seemed as if they could not penetrate her strong oak hull. Till now, it is strong enough to fight any battle. 6. Old North Church in Boston's North End. Boston's lively Italian neighborhood, known as the North End, is one of Boston's oldest, where the silversmith and activist leader Paul Revere lived at the time of the American Revolution. The Paul Revere House, which he bought in 1770 and lived in when he made his famous ride, is the only Patriots' home on the Freedom Trail and is open to tour. You can climb to the tower of Old North Church, where lanterns were hung in April 1775 to alert Paul Revere that British troops were headed to Lexington to arrest the Patriot leaders and confiscate the munitions supplies. The beautiful white interior of the church still retains its historic box pews. The North End is a favorite spot for tourists for reasons that go well beyond its important historic sites. Although it has changed a bit over the years since it was filled with newly arrived immigrants from Italy, it retains its Italian character and lively flair. You will find Italian restaurants, cafes, bakeries, and shops fragrant with aromas of cured olives, fresh roasted coffee, and Italian cheeses. 7. Copley Square. The main square of the Back Bay area is surrounded by both old and ultra-modern buildings. One side is formed by the Boston Public Library, founded in 1848 as the first publicly funded lending library in the country. Architect Charles Follen McKim designed the present building in 1895. Facing the library, across a grassy lawn, where you can enjoy a picnic lunch with neighborhood office workers, is Trinity Church, a red sandstone building designed by architect Henry Hobson Richardson in his distinctive style, known as Richardson Romanesque. On the third side of the square is the venerable Boston Institution, the Fairmont Copley Plaza. These three buildings, backed by the sheer glass wall of a skyscraper, create a stunning cityscape. Just beyond it is the Prudential Center, a 32-acre complex of apartments, shops, restaurants, and a 52-story tower. On its 50th floor, you can visit the Skywalk observation deck for 360-degree views of Boston and its surroundings. 8. Boston Harbor and Islands. The 34 islands that lie off the coast of Boston offer visitors endless opportunities for fun in the sun and sea. 13 of the islands are included in the Boston Harbor Islands National Recreation Area. Must-see attractions include the Civil War Fort Warren on George's Island and the public beach on Spectacle Island, which is only a 15-minute ferry ride away from the city's Long Wharf. George's Island is home to the nation's oldest lighthouse as well, with trails that wander past dunes and forested areas as well as a swimming beach. Lovell's Island is a popular spot for camping. 9. Beacon Hill. One of Boston's oldest neighborhoods, Beacon Hill is steeped in history. The neighborhood has undergone a radical change from being a place of undesirable fringe activities in the mid-17th century through to the 1830s, when palatial residential homes were built here for the prosperous. Beacon Street also boasts the Massachusetts State House, which is home to the Commonwealth government. Wander amongst period colonial houses with decorative gates, gas lamps, brick sidewalks, and tree-lined streets. Acorn Street, the most photographed street, is nearby. It is paved in cobblestones and was once home to the coachmen of the nearby mansions. Beacon Hill is home to America's first African meeting house and has featured the residences of many notable Americans such as Louisa May Alcott, Sylvia Plath, and Robert Frost. 10. Museum of Fine Arts. Boston's Museum of Fine Arts is one of North America's largest and home to more than 450,000 works of art. The museum is huge, so make sure the family have on their comfortable walking shoes. The museum's collection is spectacular and includes a wonderful array of French Impressionist paintings as well as a magnificent classical collection, where you can enjoy taking in the plentiful amount of frescoes and sculptures from the Villa of the Conte du Botero in Pompeii. There are regular special exhibits too, and certainly something for the whole family to enjoy. Plan on making a whole day of it.